What's up, y'all? Thank you for being here. Welcome back. I got to issue a real quick correction. Near the end of this episode, I'm talking with Wakai about a song called Silhouette from his album For a Dark Boy. And I accidentally attributed a bar said by the guest vocalist Marco Plus to him. I'm not going to tell you what the bar is because you got to listen to the episode to hear it. But my fault. Shout out to Marco Plus. He fucking crushed that verse. That song is amazing. One of my favorites of the year type shit. And, thank you for being here. Enjoy yourselves. What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is Baton Rouge-based rapper Wakai. We spoke about Snowfall, Atlanta, The Wire, Menace to Society, the beauty of local businesses, why binging TV is a privilege, how the video for Kanye West All Falls Down changed his life, his journey through the hip-hop rabbit hole, how his experience as a film editor has informed his experience as a musician, how COVID affected his approach to putting out music, and the creative process behind his debut solo album For a Dark Boy. Come fuck with us. What's cracking? Hi everybody. Welcome back. I'm brain fog is a thing. It's the end of the week. We're on some crazy shit out here. But welcome back to Real Notes. Dylan, CineMasai. I got a lot of names. I do a lot of shit. I'm around all the time, places and things. And today we're talking to somebody else who's also around and does a lot of things in a lot of different places. At least recently, he's been around a lot these past like couple of months and shit. But like we got Wakai in the house today from fucking Baton Rouge's finest. Been fucking To a Dark Boy is out. It's incredible, and we're here. Yeah, bro, thank you so much for taking the time. Like I said off camera, this has been a long time coming. So I'm happy. I'm happy to finally do this.
Yeah, everything is divine timing, bro. Everything aligns when it needs to. So I'm glad it was no better time than now.
Right. Yeah, like it's just like, yeah, you just said it. I don't have anything to add. I don't have anything. Like sometimes when like you talk and like somebody says something really like smooth and slick and you feel like you need to add something to it and you just like look like an asshole.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's my fault. I
It's not you,
sometimes
it's me.
no, stop. I just like it's like every once in a while somebody says something and I just feel like I need to like add something to it and like I don't need to add anything to that. Like like you said it all. But nah, happy to have you here, happy to do this. And I'm gonna ask you the first question I ask everybody who comes on here, which is what was the last movie or TV show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
Bro, I'm literally before we got on the call, I was watching the new Snowfall episode.
How is
But
it?
what's crazy, yeah, like what's crazy, like basically on this episode, they got the main character, they're having a wedding, right? And one of the people he works with spiked the chocolate with LSD. So everyone at the wedding is tripping. And mind you,
Right.
he's a huge drug dealer, so he's already paranoid. So now he's like, everybody's trying to hug him and like talk to him, and he's just tripping out. But but I wouldn't even say a huge impact. Really, this new Atlanta season has been crazy.
Man, talk to me
Crazy,
about it. Like once it
crazy.
like I said something similar last week because I was talking to Bosco about it because Bosco and I talked about Snowfall too, but like nobody like I can't believe I've made it 51 episodes into the show and haven't talked about Atlanta yet. So let's talk about Atlanta.
Nah, that's
Like
crazy. Nah, bro. When I was at South by, they was doing the premiere, but I was watching one of my other homies perform, so I didn't get to go see it. But I would have seen the first episode at South by when it was premiering it to everyone.
right. So like how did you feel about them starting the season off with the Devontae why can't I remember that? With the Devontae Hart story. Like cuz that was Atlanta always does cool shit with like expecting the with just training people to expect the unexpected and just like doing like a slightly like fantastical take on that whole story and having it end better than it did in real life. thankfully,
Yeah,
is tight. But like, how did you feel about that? Because like that was an interesting choice even by Atlanta standards.
true. But I mean, Donald's a genius, bro. And then I just like, I don't know if you've seen, if you follow his page, but like right before Atlanta came out, he was showing like the writing camps when he was like making like the story for like this new season. And it was just a
Yeah,
room with him, like with his homies, like just smoking, just talking about shit. And I feel like they was talking about that story, literally being like, all right, what's the way we could probably show this? And then still like put an emphasis on it, still ending like lighthearted versus what we see on a normal, like on a daily basis, you know? But I don't know.
mm-hmm.
I love Atlanta just off the strength they're gonna do and say the shit people are afraid to or afraid to show. Cause it's like Donald himself has built a platform that's strong enough he can say whatever he wants, you know? And then it's cause like for most people, it's like, why are you touching this sensitive subject? But if you like, my kid loves your music and my daughter and my wife loves your music too. Now it's like, okay,
Yeah,
he's a smart guy. Like it turns into instead of it's a problem, oh, he's just intelligent. And this is just how he's showing his art, which we need more people in those spaces to do. So it's like, I'm just appreciative. We have people like him to have platforms on a FX is huge, you know? The fact
yeah.
that they're even giving him a show and allowing him to talk about what he's supposed to say, and the fact that he has to be allowed to say it, just shows you how far we are right now, how far we need to go, you know?
Right. Yeah, nah. Like I remember when the first season premiered and like how big of a deal it was like when like those first because I was at the they did a premiere in New York and I got to see the first two episodes early and like just like I can't think of very many things I watched before where like I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, like I'm kind of like watching history happen. Like I would put the first like I would put all of Atlanta, but excuse me, particularly like the first season, like pound for pound, it's like one of my favorite seasons of TV ever. Like the show is just so funny and so deep and just like not and like it really moves to the beat of its own drum. And I just like and like not in like an overly pretentious way because like Donald himself can be kind of like really pretentious sometimes. Like I
Right.
love him, but like he's got his moments and shit. But like Atlanta is almost like that. Like Atlanta's like the bubble where like everything about Donald Glover's persona, everything about the Childish Gambino project, like it just works. Everything's perfect and it just clicks into place. And like and just like seeing that play out over the course of these three episodes because I haven't seen the fourth one yet because I was out last night. But
Right.
seeing that play out over the course of the of like the first three episodes of the new season, like how you feel about them being in Europe and like just them fucking around in Europe and shit.
Yeah, like with the really it was the fact that he did the first episode, how he did it, then the second with them showing like the blackface shit. I was
Yeah.
like, damn. So this is how this season is gonna go. Like that's how I took it. It was like, all right. So we come in full force in the beginning. So I'm like, I don't know, they're establishing what it's gonna be. And then I mean, I bet a lot of rappers go through this when they travel and they start going into spaces where they're like, oh damn, this is what people are on. Cause it's like you
Yeah.
gotta think out in Europe. I mean, I got homies who are out in Europe, but I've never been personally. So it's like it's probably a lot of shit that they're accustomed to that I'd be like, oh no, this a no-go for me, like personally, but
Yeah.
different cultures, you know?
Yeah, nah, for real. Like this, yeah, like this Wardy Pete thing. Like I learned about it maybe like I want to say because my sister studied abroad out in that area, so like I had heard stories about like about that type of stuff. I've never seen it myself, but like
Right.
that's just like yeah, like I can't imagine just like being there and just like seeing a little baby in like blackface and having somebody explain like, oh, he's just like Santa's helper. He fell down the chimney type shit. Just like you don't.
Yeah,
It's just one of those
right.
situations like you don't know what you would do until you're there. You know, like
True. True. And you
yeah,
seen
shit.
them, they was like, oh no, we're not fucking with it. Like literally, like,
Right, right, like right away and shit. And like one of the crazy things about Atlanta is that like it's very much a show about rap and but like we never see Paperboy rap like ever.
true.
We haven't seen him rap. We haven't seen him perform. The closest he came was when they were at the Spotify studio and
Yeah, he's like,
he was about to do the show and then he just walks off the stage because none of them are paying attention. Like I used to work in a building like that and shit and like that was like that was like the perfect like it was perfect. Like shit like that happens in buildings like that all the fucking time. So I was like dying just watching him just try to like figure it out and just like
true.
they just get it, bro. They just get it. Like
They get it. They get it. They get it firsthand like perspective, you know, like
yeah. like you could just tell that like they live this stuff, and like not even just they lived it, but that they just like understand it. And like I want to say, since I've been around the age that I am, like Atlanta was the first show, is one of the first shows I've seen that really feels like a like I wouldn't even close it off to like a particularly like millennial thing. It feels like a very like millennial Gen Z type of like, we get what this means, like it feels very modern in ways that a lot of other shows don't. So I
Yeah.
just appreciate that shit a lot.
Yeah, it transcends, bro. And literally, you see FX, they seen how good Atlanta works, and that's why they made Dave. Literally, like they literally replicated it, you know?
Right. And Atlanta, and I don't know how you feel, but Atlanta is way better than Dave.
Oh
At
no,
least
for
I think
sure.
so. I
By
think so.
far, by far. But I mean,
No, 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 no.
it's like Atlanta opened the space for it. So I was like, oh, this works.
Right.
Hey, let's put on another rapper. Like literally, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
They
no,
do that with all
definitely.
shows though. Like literally, they do that with all shows.
Oh yeah, facts. Before we move on, you have a favorite episode of Atlanta? Just like off the top of your head?
Probably, probably the one where I keep going to the crib, right? That
Yeah.
crazy crib. That's probably my favorite episode because it's just so like the our Lakeith goes into the crib and the man who's living there with his brother, he's holding his brother hostage.
Oh, the fucking Teddy Perkins one. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Probably that one. Probably that one. Because I was
Yo,
like, what? I was like, random, very random. But I don't know, like something about like how he can have that kind of episode, and then the episode where the dude knocks, they ran over somebody with a car, and then like at least he not hurt. And then she like, my bad.
yeah, it's like yeah, the fucking
Oh, yeah, that's
barbershop
the barber
episode. Yeah,
episode.
that's the
Probably,
barbershop
probably.
episode.
Even the barbershop episode of that one or the other one.
Wow.
It's not those
So,
two.
so that's crazy because those are two of my favorites. I would say that. So I would say those two. The fucking the Black Entertainment Network one where with like all the commercials and shit. And damn. Maybe those three. Like I could sit here and talk about how much I love all the episodes or most of the episodes all day, but be like Teddy Perkins and and like the barbershop one is just like it
Crazy.
like it's so stressed, but it's so funny. Like I haven't been to a barber in 16 years, but like I remember
Damn,
the
yeah.
feeling of just like having somebody like fucking duck out on you like that.
Right.
Like
Different. Different.
nah, bro, Bibby really had me stressed that whole time. And then I think that was like a Flylo and I think Flylo and Thundercat scored the whole episode of the show. It was nuts. Just
Word.
good
I
shit.
did
Good
not know
shit.
that. That's crazy. It's wild. Like those small details as to why we fuck with the show.
Yeah.
Indirectly, you were gonna love it because it had all the inner makings to be something you love already before you even seen it. You know, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Like you could tell they just they put a lot of care into how that show gets put together, and like I'm always fucking with that. Like, but for you, like let's run it all the way back. So like with film in particular. Actually, wait. No, I forgot because there was something I wanted to ask you about Snowfall because, like I said last week, for people who listen like that, I haven't made it all the way through Snowfall yet. I really want to start it, or I really want to continue it. But like, what's your favorite aspect of watching Snowfall, and do you like the new season? Because I've been seeing some mixed reactions, and like people,
Right.
it used to be like a universally acclaimed thing, and now people are like, I don't know about this new season. But like, how do you feel about it?
I kind of feel like, well, I'll start from how you ended it. Like with this new season specifically, it's more so how the first season was, where it's like it's character development to these new characters being added into this new season. So it's kind of like they can't just be crazy. They introducing too many things that are like going to turn into other things, you know? Because I mean, the
Okay.
next season is the last season. And I'm thinking
Right.
the next season is going to be the craziest. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is more so a build-up season. But I really love Snowfall because it's like, one, it started, I mean, John Singleton, bro. Like,
Yeah, come
he's
on.
goated. He literally goated. So I was like,
Yeah.
I already, off that, I loved it. And then on top of that, they're kind of showing how the US literally fucked us over. Like, literally, like they're showing it on a TV show. Like, you're
Yeah.
watching the community get fucked up by the people who are supposed to, like, I don't know, the people who dictate how the community is. It's like you're looking at it like, besides Franklin, you don't see like a bunch of random like black people just flying planes back then. So it's kind of like who's flying the planes, how are the drugs coming by plane, who has all of the planes. So it's like it's just one of those things like you like, damn, so that's how it was. And then even like, cause my dad met Freeway Rick Ross. Like,
oh, crazy.
yeah, he met him at a car shop. My dad used to go back and forth to California with his cousins.
Mm-hmm.
They used to just drive like 80s, like mid, like early to mid 80s. That's when they was doing that. They used to just take road trips from Louisiana or whatever. Cause I mean Louisiana got a lot of ties to Cali. I'm thinking like the first like I don't want to be misquoted. It's either the Crips, the founder of the Crips was from Louisiana and then he migrated over to Cali.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's either the I'm pretty sure it's the Crips. If it's not the Crips, it's the Bloods. But it's like it's a lot of ties. And the reason why the culture is how it is, you can see similarities or whatever. But basically, my dad said he met him at a car show. He was just like humble, very cool. Like he was just like next to like a crazy ass whip, then just dabbed him down and walked out.
At a car show.
Right. Because my pops used to have a crazy ass car. So they used to like flex it at car shows type shit.
Right.
Yeah, it was on some shit like that. But I just love how it's like they show what really happened, like to a slight extent. They're not showing it as graphically, but sometimes they do show it graphically. And I feel like we have to show what's really going on so people can better understand and get rid of the excuse of, well, you can do this and this, but it's like, all right, when I do this and this, you take away this and that. So it's kind of like this show is showing how we get disembodied so many times. And this is shit that was going on in the 80s. So imagine if this was going on before my older sister was born in 1990, right? If all of this is going on before she was born, imagine what's going to happen when I was born in 2000. So it's like a process. And I feel like this show is showing the beginning of the cycle and why I salute, you know?
See, wow. I love the way you put that. Cause like, that's really, like people, like a lot of the conversation around shows, like, like Snowfall and The Wire and Top Boy, which I've been watching a lot of. I don't know if you watch Top Boy at all.
Yeah, I'm on a new season.
Hey, yeah, I'm not done with it yet. I think I'm 6 episodes and I'm almost done. But with shows like that, they often get accused of like glorifying the lifestyles that they're showing, and it's like it's not really necessarily that. It's everything that you just said, like they're connecting the dots. And like when you look at the details, like with a show like Top Boy and with a show like Snowfall, you like the whole point is to emphasize like this, like this is the environment that birthed these people, and this is the environment that like forced people to do stuff like this and turn somebody like Franklin or somebody like Deshane into a monster, like these like not to say that they're like completely blameless, but like you look at what's going on with like the crack era in the 80s, and you look at what's going on with the drug epidemic, and just like the way guns are out in the UK, like you can't get guns out there for shit, know. So like, but like it's just just like tying all those elements of crime together in a way, but to be like this is because of this, and to like not necessarily say it or make it feel like a history lesson. Like they just make it feel real in a way that's like not corny or like overly crazy or it gets overly crazy sometimes, but like
sometimes, but and then like we be having conversations just like who, like I guess like for Franklin's character or like people in his same position back then, like in LA or whatever, I don't think any of them knew how like devastating crack would be. They were just more on some damn, like they love it like this, and this is an easy thing. I feel like had they known how it would have been, they probably would have clipped it,
Oh yeah, probably. And like and like on top of that, like like most people who are coming up around that era, like, oh yeah, I tried crack once. You just hear people tell stories like, oh yeah, I tried it once. I didn't like it that much. But like we look at it now, and like for us, like people like our age, like between like 20 and 30, it's like, oh, like you did crack, like what?
Like you was at rock bottom, like
yeah, yeah, like it's like it's like I knew a couple of people who like claimed to me that they tried heroin once, and I was like, you're not just like shooting up dog food and like walking away, like it's not like puffing a cigarette, like stop. Like people really go crazy with the shit sometimes, but
it's crazy because now it's like you look at like opiates, and now it's like now they're forced, like people are forced to pay attention because now it's like, all right, now it's a whole nother epidemic, so now it's like, all right, same shit that we went through, now y'all going through it. Only difference is like different, like it's different complexions, like literally.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only difference, bro. But I mean, I don't know. It's like a famous saying. I'm gonna misquote it, but it's like it doesn't matter like where the bullet travels. It's just about what neighborhood it lands in.
Mm. I
Facts.
mean, that's real, like really, yeah, like it really is the difference between how the crack epidemic in the 80s and into the 90s was looked at and how this opioid epidemic is. And even like, a little while ago, it was heroin too. But like, like you said, like it's, like the white people are bringing in the attention, but it is what it is, like I hope everybody gets well, obviously, like, like drug addiction's a
Right.
crazy thing that nobody should have to go through if they don't want to, I guess. But like, yeah, just we know the game, and
Yeah.
John Singleton knows the
Like,
game.
literally.
Like,
Literally.
and the people behind Top Boy know the game, and The Wire, and all that shit. Like that's why those shows are so special, because they really they help people who didn't grow up in those areas or didn't grow up in that time period to really understand what it was like to an extent. Obviously, it's going to be fictionalized in some ways, but yeah,
Yes. You remember that episode where Michael B. Jordan's character got killed?
yeah.
That specific, I think that was my favorite season.
What season was that again? I don't remember what
It might
season
have
it
been
was.
5. That might have been season 5.
Okay.
Either season 4 or season 5. It's one of those. But that season was just crazy. Because it's kind of like, it's
Yeah.
like, damn. Like now y'all showing it through the perspective of kids. So now it's like you really like it's really gonna hit home, Because it's like
Right.
you can't escape where you grow up, like because you grow up. Like literally, like you have to go to school. If you don't have a car, you have to take the bus. If you don't have if you miss the bus, you have to walk. So it's like, I don't know, it shows you like it's different levels to it.
Right. And yeah, like that was and that was one of Michael B. Jordan's like first big things ever. And just like it's just like the amount of people who got put on from The Wire is just fucking crazy. We could sit here and
Ridiculous.
list names all day. But like, yeah, man, I've been meaning to rewatch The Wire because it's been years. Like I watched it when it first aired because my parents were watching it, but like
Right.
I have yet to kind of go back and revisit it in that way, and I've been meaning to do it. But once I get through like I got a whole stack of shows I'm trying to get through.
Yeah, you gotta get
But
through. Nah, please rewatch it, bro. Because I really sat down and watched it for real for the first time. Is like when COVID started, and I was
right.
like, bro, I always see The Wire. I always see The Wire. I fuck with HBO. Let me see what's good.
It's been one of those I've been trying to get to for a minute, but at some point I'm gonna finish Top Boy. I'm gonna finish all my other shit. I'm running through JoJo's Bizarre Adventure right now. I'm just trying to.
So
I got a huge and Jujutsu Kaisen. I just started that a couple weeks ago. I'm just trying to run through all my shit at some
yeah,
point.
come out, bro. I feel you, bro. I just be moving around. It'd be hard. Like I have to
Right.
have certain times where I can watch shit. It's like I don't have the luxury of binging no more. So it's like I
Right.
specifically gotta set down dates when I can watch it.
Oh man, say that again. Fucking binging is
Hey,
a luxury. Holy
it's a
shit.
luxury, bro. It's
Like
really a luxury, bro. I miss the days when I could sit and binge. Like in college, bro. Like I went to college for a year. Like when I was in college, bro, I could really binge some shit. Specifically
right.
the breaks. Like, oh my God,
Oh.
bro. I miss that shit.
Yo, no, that's so real because I have times and opportunities to do it now, but like not as many as I did before. Like it wasn't like it was to the point where I could just like spend 2 weeks binging a 65 episode anime, and I just can't do it like that no more.
Yeah.
Like I just like I just have too much going on to just like sit down and like every once in a while I get to like bang out a show over a weekend, but it's so rare and just like
Yeah.
it's a privilege. Like it's a privilege, it's a
Times have
luxury, it's
changed.
all of that. Like, geez,
Times have changed for sure.
for sure. Like so okay. So like while you were growing up and you first started to experience like media and like movies specifically, like like what was the first movie experience you can remember having? Like it could be at the theater, it could be at your cousin's house, it could be wherever you first remember catching some sort of movie.
Yeah, I remember vividly, like I they had like a new Tinseltown by my crib when I was like 4. I might have been like 4, maybe 4 turning 5. But I just remember going into Tinseltown and I was lit. Like I was too lit. Like I'm in there like, hey, put extra butter in my popcorn. Like I'm in Tinseltown. Like I just remember that whole day. So for some reason, Tinseltown was hitting me different. But it's like that Tinseltown that was by my crib, they ended up shutting it down or whatever. But I always go back to those moments when I was going to the movies and I felt it. And it's kind of like, bro, like everybody knows, like when you're in like middle school or whatever, like you're not really like the girls who I was kicking it with, I can't really take you out on a date, but I can take you to the movies. So it's like the
Uh-huh.
movie's always gonna hold like sentimental value to me, like because it's just like the experiences and like just linking at the movies, going to the movies. Are like, well, I remember when NWA first came out, and those people on the side of the stairs, like because it was that packed. Or like certain movies coming out, and then just like where people are like no, or like in certain things, you know. Like that element of going to the movies. And it's kind of different now because of COVID, but like
Right.
pre-COVID, like it's like, you know, like going to the movies was a nostalgic thing. Like,
Right. Like, and just because I'm curious, Tinseltown, I assume was like a theater, like a chain in your area.
yeah.
Cause I never heard of that before.
Yeah, I mean they got some in Texas too. Like it might just be a southern thing. But
Okay.
it's like it's like it'll be like a Tinseltown Cinemark. Like they'll be
Okay.
together
Got you. Okay. Yeah,
type thing.
because we got Cinemarks up here, but I don't think any of them are called Tinseltown. And yeah, I'm just always so interested in like local stuff like that. Just like what the theaters are called, like what the chains are, like all that type shit. I was just visiting my mom, and my mom lives in she lives outside of the Dallas Fort Worth area in Texas. So I was just like
Where
going crazy with all the local shit down there. Like I came back with like 2 bottles of Big Red because my homie Caleb told me like you gotta try this Big Red shit, and I was like, all right, let me
I
grab
feel
two
you.
bottles, and then I tried it, and it tastes like this. It tastes exactly like this soda you can get up north called Inca Cola. It's like yellow pineapple soda,
Okay.
and
Right.
like I was like, and like it was just funny to me that Big Red was just Inca Cola, and I was like, this is cool. Like I like it, I like Inca Cola, but it's just
Like
that.
it's just different,
Like
you know. It be like that
right.
sometimes, you know. But I will say, like, in terms of like just we can have like potato chips. Like in the South, damn near everything hits. Like if we digesting
Yeah.
it, majority of the time, it's not gonna be ass. It's not gonna be mid. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
even like the little chains that we have, like the food and chains, most of them are gas. Like in comparison to other chains.
Right. What would you put over anything from down there? I have a couple things I'd choose, but what would you put over everything?
Uh, I didn't realize how vital Canes is in comparison to a lot of other places. You know what I mean? Like, have you
Mm.
ever had Canes?
Nah, I know what Canes is, but I never had Canes before.
Canes originated in Baton Rouge. Like basically,
Mm.
the owner, what's his name? I think it's Todd Graves. I think that's the owner's name. He made it on LSU's campus because LSU is like right in the middle of BR. So it's like
Right.
the first Canes is like right there. And like I like growing up, I was like Canes. I don't know, Canes hit, but I always was like this shit is not seasoned. Like that's how I always felt. But it's like when my homies, like I got homies from DC, when they come to BR, they're like, oh, this crazy, like this crazy. And I'm just like, damn, like well, like what y'all got out there to make y'all think this is top tier? You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, because Popeye's from Louisiana too.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So it's like, I mean, I guess this is another example. It's like we got Canes, we got Popeyes. It's like majority of our chains pretty gas.
Yeah. Popeyes is incredible, bro. Like I've been eating Popeyes since I was a kid. There was one up the street at the like there was this there was like I don't even want to call it like a supermarket. It was like there was like a grocery store in it, but it was like this like big complex. It used to be a train station. They just put a bunch of stores in it. And Popeyes, there was a Burger King there, and then they replaced it with a Popeyes. And like ever since then, like I must have been like 9 or 10, and just like that's just been like my go-to ever since. Like
But
Popeyes
imagine
is the
like, but
best.
it hit different. It hit different out here. Like eating
Right.
Popeyes in
Yeah.
New Orleans, it tastes completely different than eating Popeyes. I don't know, like in LA. Like it's just different, you know.
I can imagine like that's a this might sound sacrilegious, but I've always wanted to try Popeyes in Louisiana just because, like I know like obviously there's like better shit to eat in Louisiana than fucking
Right.
Popeyes, but like,
Yeah, like my
like
homie Tobias, bro, he pulled up and he's like, take me to Cafe Du Monde. Take me to Cafe Du Monde for like some beignets. Like, I'm just like, all right, bro, I'll take you. But it's like this line is gonna be like an hour long for some fried bread. Like I was
right.
like if that's what you really want, like I'll take you. And he was like, well, shit, take me to Popeyes. Take me to Popeyes. I'm like, bro, like it's so much. But I mean, bro, like what I love about like NOLA, I mean, the food in BR is great. Don't get me wrong. But what I love about like New Orleans, you could just go to the gas station and get a crazy ass like meal, like a corner store. Like it's not really deli based, but it's people really chefing it up. You know what I mean?
That's hard. I love stuff like that. We got a place in Jersey like that called Wawa. I don't know if it's like as intricate, but like everybody in Jersey swears by Wawa. It's like some of the best like gas station food you can get anywhere. It's just like I put Wawa over anything, you know. Like people come here
Okay.
like let me go to Wawa. Like
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I might have to peep, bro. Like, I've driven past Jersey, but I never really did nothing in Jersey. You know?
yeah, you know, we got cool stuff. We got Taylor Ham, we got Wawa, we got there's other stuff, but I'm blanking on all of it right now. Jersey's fun though. We have
Y'all
fun
got
down
some
there.
legends though, huh? I know y'all got some legends from Jersey.
Yeah, we got tons of legends from Jersey, like from every stretch of the shit. Like
Sure.
like fucking Just Blaze is from Jersey,
Damn.
fucking goddamn Fouché is from Jersey,
Word,
fucking
that's tough.
God damn, I'm trying to think. There's so many. I gotta say it. Joe Budden's from Jersey, I guess.
Okay.
Uh, there's no. There's no. There's too many people from Jersey. I could sit here like I'm like Redman, Naughty by Nature, fucking
Uh,
God damn. Trying to think of other people. Clams Casino. I don't know if you fuck with Clams Casino.
I
He's from
remember the
Jersey.
producer. Yeah, I remember stuff with
Yeah.
Rocky. Ain't Chris Patrick from Jersey too?
Chris Patrick's from Jersey too. Yep, he's from right around my area. He's from East Orange. I'm from Montclair. They're not too far from each other. Shout out to
Oh,
Chris
that's tough.
Patrick, by the way. Chris Patrick's fucking amazing. That's the
Yeah, he's
homie.
tough. He's
No, for
tough.
real. um, what's it called? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought because I'm
Nah,
already fucking with this conversation so much. Um,
nah. That's love.
so like as you were coming up and like taking trips to Tinseltown and just like enjoying time at the movies, was there ever like do you remember the first movie that you watched that kind of made you fall in love with movies? Like it doesn't even necessarily have to be in like an artistic sense. It could just be like you just
Right.
really like this shit and like it made you look at all movies different.
Seventh grade. Oh yeah, bro. Like I'm a movie buff, bro. Seventh grade.
Mm,
First time I seen Menace II Society, that changed everything. Just that
damn.
whole premise. It was really specifically Menace was the first one, and then Higher Learning was the second one. But specifically Menace. Menace was the one. Cause it's just like how it runs. I was like, damn, like, why is this niggas? I know. Like, why is this like why can I relate to this so much? Like, just
Right.
even like from the scenes where it's like he's sitting down with his grandparents and they just talking to him. I'm like, nigga, this is my life. Like parts of it, like certain parts of it. I won't say the whole movie is like my life, but like
Right.
certain parts
Yeah.
of it, like I got homies like dog for sure. It's just like, and then I got homies like Kane too. So I was like, I just seen like, I don't know, like it's just I can relate to it, I guess. And I seen that in seventh grade. So I was like, I guess it only became more prevalent by the time I got to high school. And the time I got older, I was like, damn, now I see like what it really means and kind of like the message he was really trying to get out. But I mean the message that both of them, because I think it was the Hughes brothers, like
Yeah,
what both
yeah,
of them
yeah.
was trying to portray.
Like, it's so crazy you bring that up because I just watched it again for the first time in years. I want to say like a month ago, because I got it. I got the Criterion collection, put it out on Blu-ray, and I had to grab a physical because I never owned it before. But just like
Okay, you tough.
yeah, like just like having just seeing Kane get sat down by his grandfather and by the Muslim homie's dad and just like them
Yeah,
talking about the Bible verses and just being like
it's
just
crazy.
like the hunt is on and you're the prey and you can tell that he's just like and just like it's so sad in a way that like we all know a O Dog, we all know a Kane, but
Right.
like nobody makes it out of that movie okay. Kane dies, fucking the Muslim
Yeah.
dude dies, and
Right.
just and you know it's like O Dog's a fucking psychopath on some other
Yeah.
shit,
And
like
he ended up getting locked up for that tape.
right, you know, like
Like,
because he felt the need to go around and show it to everybody, and just like why would you?
man, yeah, why? Like, why, bro? Like, but I mean, it just showed you, like, bro, in the community, like, it wasn't like they. It's like they damn near were bound to fail from the start because the start, like, their foundation was already crumbling to begin with, and it was just kind
Right.
of getting out of the rubble. And it's kind of like he had that one decision to where he could have had another phase of his life, but his past ways caught up with him, and it's kind of like, damn. this movie is just embodying what a lot of America never gets to see. They just see the ending of it. Like they don't see the middle of it or the beginning of how it led to this. I like you giving a 6-year-old a Glock and telling them to hold it. Like that's not normal for a lot of people in America.
Nope.
That's just how it is. But it's like, I mean, just even like I just related, bro. Like the culture out here, bro, it's different than in the East Coast. It's like everybody got guns out here. That's just what it is. I mean, it's like I could walk in the store and have a gun on my hip if I got my permit to open carry because it's open concealed. Like you could walk around with it.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, like seeing like being 12, 13 and seeing AR-15s was like, I guess at 12, 13, I wasn't supposed to see that, but I did. So it's kind of like seeing certain things like that, and then just seeing how it is in New York, where it's like if you got that gun, it's a wrap. It's over. Like it's over for you. And I'm just like, damn, like it's completely different culture. So it's like I vividly remember that movie just like impacting me because my homie CJ, he's younger than me. He was in 6th grade, and he's like, bro, you gotta watch Menace.
Like Menace is just such a like it's real nihilist, but also just like a really just like they made the movie because they wanted to show what people really went through. And like I was watching some of the behind the scenes shit, and like they actually filmed it like in the projects out there in California, like out there in Watts, like to the point where like people would be like walking up on Lorenz Tate talking about like, oh, like what set you claim, and he's like, I'm not from here, like I'm from Chicago, son, like and they're just like, nah, like you serious, like nah, like who's nah, it's like nah, like who's your sister type shit, like so like it was they tried so hard. Yeah, like, they tried so hard to really just like they tried so hard to make it as realistic as possible, but that makes it like incredibly sad and depressing, but also really important. Like one of those things you got to watch like 1 or 2 times in your life.
Yeah, it's hard you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to rewatch it. I feel that way about when they see us. Like I can't rewatch those, bro. That's too much for me, you know?
Oh my, yeah, nah. I forgot all about that. Damn. Shit.
This is like, bro, I ain't gonna cap. It's certain shows and movies I watch. After I watch them for like a week, I just can't talk to white people, bro. Like that's why I was like, when I watch certain stuff, bro, like I'm for real, bro. Like I really have to sit and reflect and being like, all right, please not let me say nothing crazy to this white woman. She don't know me, but it's like, like I just want to, you know what I mean? So it's like, so when I watch certain things, like it put things into perspective, and I'm like, we in this position because of you. Like, it's just one of them. Like, it's one of them moments.
What was the last thing you watched that made you feel that way? That's such a specific feeling. Like,
I watched, bro. It's all right. I don't want to. Samuel Jackson's not in it. I'm trying to think who's a major person in it. It's talking about what they did in Tuskegee, that movie, where they were doing the testing on them and then they were giving them syphilis.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the name of the movie, but I know the story.
I watched that for the first time. Like a couple weeks ago, and I just caught myself like, So this is what y'all got going on. So it's like, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. When I watch movies like that, you know, majority of the time it's just stuff that's like not like real things, like movies based on true events.
Right.
Once you can show me on a grand scale what was really going on, and you got a high budget for it, I'm gonna be highly upset because I'm gonna reflect and understand what really happened. You know?
Right. Nah, it just puts everything into perspective for us, and it just like gives us time to think about it. But just like doing that for a week is it's like having that mindset for a week is just hilarious to me because it's really like that. Like it's like really that, really like that. Like
you like that. Like I got reasons to my anger. It's not like I'm being illogical. Like I understand why I'm mad, and when I really understand why I'm mad, I get more mad. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, it's just like you want to talk about it, but you can't talk about it because when you do, like they just don't get it. Crazy shit.
Right. Literally. It's one of those things like you gotta understand, like everybody's all right, bro. Best way I could describe it, we all in our own universe to begin with. So it's kind of like you're gonna be chasing your tail trying to explain your universe to someone else. When you understand what frequency they're on, you just gotta You gotta love them for what they are, and then just like go about your day. Because at the end of the day, my direction is different than yours because we on two different roads. Like literally, like we're literally on two different roads and probably in different cars. So it's like sometimes you get people in the same car. Sometimes you get somebody in the passenger seat, but they'll never be driving with you. Like they'll never drive in that same direction or understand where you're driving your car to. If you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying by metaphor, like they'll never truly understand that. But sometimes it's people who will be willing to open the door to get into the car.
Right. And yeah, like there's definitely a difference between like being a passenger in someone else's story and like being the driver in your own. Yeah, like that's a crazy way to put that, bro. That's so wild. Never thought
Literally,
about it like that before. Wow.
I be, bro. Like we all get. It's like at a young age, they all tell us what a GPS is, but it's like
Right.
when we get older, you realize, oh damn, why does his GPS have different features than mine? Is something wrong with my GPS? No, nigga, they didn't tell you how to go to the store to get a better one. Like literally, and when you go to the store, they make it hard for you saying, well, actually, we don't take fives, we only take 20s. So you leave and get 20s. Oh, actually, like our machine isn't working right now. So can you just bring the fives? Like that's literally what we go through. Like that's literally what we go through. All over a GPS that we're gonna realize that we could have made by ourselves and didn't need to use to begin with. So it's kind of like that's literally how it is, bro.
Man. Like everybody listening right now. I hope y'all hearing what this kid is saying, bro. This is I hope you're hearing everything he's saying right now.
Either that or they gonna think I'm high and crazy. like
Oh
literally.
man, it's you're not. Like, oh shit. Like I almost feel like trivial taking it over to this part right now, but like I gotta ask, like, like with the movie shit, like I want to take it to the music shit. When did you first fall in love with music, and like who were some of your like favorite artists and like influences coming up and shit?
Well, bro, like I literally like I got a drum set when I was 3 because my parents was getting annoyed that I kept beating on things. So it's like I give them a
Right.
drum set. So it's kind of like I literally always had it in me. So, but I feel like first thing really changed my life. I was 5. Basically, my mom had a TV, like it was one of these box TVs in my room with me and my middle sister because I got 2 sisters. But I stayed in the same room with my middle sister, and basically like we had like these bunk beds, and we had a box TV at the bottom near like where I was, and it would be like BT, like it was like some kind of like BT show that just played music videos, but they ran them like at nighttime. But my TV would auto set to turn off because it had like this like child lock thing on it. You know what I mean? Where you could
Mm,
program it to fall asleep. So mine would fall asleep at a certain time so we could go to sleep. I mean, I'm 5, but basically for some reason I couldn't go to sleep that night. Then I turned the TV back on, and then I seen Kanye going through the X-ray on the All Falls Down video, and that shit just changed my life.
wow.
I was like, what is this? Like I'll never forget. I still remember, bro. Like I remember I'm like, damn, I can't go. Let me watch something. I'm trying to watch cartoons, but I was like, he going through the X-ray. Like I never flew in a plane, so I'd never seen what the airport was like because I was 5. You know what I mean? So I was like, I was seeing a lot at once, but then I was like this is it. Like this is it. And I guess like I used to like sing and rap with my action figures and like my Hot Wheels and shit. Like when I was like a little kid, like at a young age. So I guess that kind of made me like real crazy at like freestyling. Like I was always like really good, like with putting words together. Cause I didn't know I was rapping, I guess. Like I was just singing shit and like putting shit together, like doing my own version of it when I was pretty young. So I guess that was
Right.
like my first thing. But really, when I seen the All Falls Down video, that was my first like introduction to me being like, I don't know what this is, but I love it. And I know my pops plays it a lot. So I was like, whatever this is, that's when I started having them conversations with him, like, hey, play some more of this. So like play some more because he was
Right.
playing everything, bro. Like I love Outkast as much as I do because of him. I love Tribe as much as I do because of him. Like he was playing like so much stuff. So like I was seeing a lot. Like basically my pops was putting me on to like he was born in 1966. So you gotta think by 96, he was 26. So like
Yeah.
in his 20s, well, like he was a little older than I am now. Like I'm about to turn 22. So he's a couple years older than me. So in the 90s, he was like me now, basically. So it's like he was and all the heat that was coming out, he was just taking it all in, you know? Because even though he's from Plaquemine, it's like across the bridge, but it's not too far from BR. You drive over the bridge and you're in Plaquemine, basically. So it's
Right.
like his music taste was just like very eclectic. Like he was just in like I'm thankful for it. Like he was one of them people smoking joints with his friends. So like listening to whatever like rap they were saying, it was just all for it. Because some people was just very close-minded to it at that point, back then here specifically. But my mom, on the other hand, like when I'd be in the car with her, that's when she was putting me on like all of the, I say like neo soul, more so like melodic. Like that was like the India.Arie, the Amy Winehouse, the Sade, Erykah
Yeah.
Badu, Lauryn Hill, Jill Scott. That was my mom. Like my pops would play it too, but he'd be more so like he'd be doing a lot of the driving. So it's like he's doing stuff that's gonna keep him upbeat. So that was more the rap, you know?
Right. Yeah. Like that. I wanna go back. Like you just said a mouthful. I want to go back on you first discovering the All Falls Down video. Like what
Right.
was it like what was it about that video and that song that really like struck you? And cuz like yeah, cuz like I remember when I first saw it too. And like that definitely changed my life as well, but like what was it about that shit for you that really hit you?
Yeah, like one, like, cause mind you, like I love spoken word. Like I love spoken word. And I remember like the Def Jam, like when they was doing like the poetry when Kanye did it. I remember
Yeah.
all of that. Cause it's like I just went through a rabbit hole of just like trying to discover certain things that was like that. But when I was 5, it was just to that point, it was like I was hearing a lot of songs, but it's like I wasn't really like retaining everything the best way. But specifically for the first time, I would say I really zoned in everything that he was doing. Like, I'm like for the longest, you look at your parents, you look up to your parents. Cause I mean, you're physically smaller, but it's like in that moment, I was looking up to the TV, like just like in amazement, as if it was my parents. You know, like that's
Yeah.
like that feeling that just I don't know, like it's like I'm ascending. Like sonically, this is making me ascend out of my 5-year-old body, like this, like that's the best way I could describe it. Like that
Right.
sounds bad sus, but like when I was 5, this nigga Kanye took me out my body, like literally, like, and that's why I'm wearing Yeezys now, like because I got an interesting relationship with Kanye, but without Kanye, there's no me, like literally,
Right.
like so yeah, like
Yeah.
that's just what it was, like
You can say that for pretty much all of us. Like I feel like at this point we all got a complicated relationship with Kanye. It's like difficult, and we don't have to dig into it too much here, but like it's just he's a lot,
right,
but like he also just like he influenced so many people in so many different ways. And like that's of course like that's the starting point. So for you, like especially considering that your pops and your mom were really up on stuff that was like fairly contemporary at that time, like what but like when like aside from Kanye, who were some of the first people that like you kind of discovered on your own that you could kind of claim as like yours in a way that like your father claimed Tribe and Outkast? Like who was that besides Kanye for you?
I guess like I take it to middle school, like specifically 7th grade. 7th grade is when I like really did my homework on everything. Cause it's like it was just a lot of stuff my pops was putting me on to, but it's like it was other things that he didn't show me that he probably knew, but just was like probably forgot. Like, cause I mean he's older, so it's like it's certain songs that you forget, but it's certain beats that I'll never forget. So it's like I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to dive in like production wise because I was just looking for a different sound of beats at that point. By the time, because this is me 12, almost 13. So it's like I'm like, all right, I know why I love rap so much. And for me at that point, it was the production. So I was like, all right, I'm trying to find certain beats that are resonating with me right now. And specifically, it was like, I went back and bumped, I was watching Behind the Music. This was in 7th grade. Like, I was watching TV and I was like, damn, I really don't know shit about Nas. So it's like, I watched the episode and I was like, damn, bro, I want to go back and listen to everything. So I was like, I went
Mm-hmm.
back and listened to Illmatic and I was like, wow. But then when I heard it was written, then I was like, wow, this is what Nas is. So this is why niggas fuck with Nas. Like I don't know, I was just doing my homework, and then through that, I went to everybody East Coast. Like I divided it by like the area codes people were in. Like
Mm.
I listened to Nas's discography, then I listened to Mobb Deep's discography. And then I listened to Biggie's discography. Like I was breaking it, then I listened to Jay's discography. Like 7th grade is when I heard Reasonable Doubt for the first time. Like that was like a very like important year, like important time for me, like just figuring out what I like and why I like it. Because the first beats I was like hopping on, bro, were like knowledge beats and like Dilla and Ninth Wonder beats. Like that's the first things I was like really writing to and like really like, all right, my homie got a mic or my homie got equipment. What am I gonna get on? I'm gonna get on a Madlib beat. Or I'm gonna get on a Dilla beat. Like that's just like that was my first introduction, but it was to what I was finding when I was younger. And I really like attribute that to seventh grade, just really doing my homework, watching a lot of behind the musics, and then just different like rap documentaries like Rhyme and Reason, like just certain things that I was just like really like I'm a fan, bro. I'm still a fan, like, and I feel like I'm still a student of hip hop and just like the medium of it. So I was like, I watch all the movies, like all the rap movies. That's when I was watching Belly. That's when I was watching like everything. Like I was really doing my homework on certain things because it's like I'm the youngest of two other people. So it's two different generations of music that I got put onto, and my
Yeah.
parents' generation. So now it's like I remember vividly going on MP3 Rocket and LimeWire and FrostWire, like I like, and then going on that Piff, like all of that. That's when I was really when I first got to get my own taste of music. It was going on these platforms from shit my oldest sister was putting me on because I mean it's a 10-year difference. So it's like she put me on Kendrick, she put me on Cole. Like I remember my sister first showed me Cole when I was in like fourth grade. It's like subtle things like that because like I was in fourth grade like 2009. So it's like she put me on a Cole around then. So certain things like that is like I was like super young, but it's like I wasn't really like when it came to like getting put on to certain music, like because she was 10 years older than me. So the same way a lot of grown people would discover music, that's how I was discovering it at a super young age. I'm just grateful I was the youngest. I got to listen to everything because they were already listening before I was, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You kind of had like a roadmap through a lot of the things, and just like, like you had a roadmap, but then you also kind of went off and made your own discoveries based off of that
Right,
roadmap. And
right.
that's like, and that's so precious and that's so priceless, like to have that sort of connection, like especially if you family, like that's I love that shit. I
Yeah,
like
bro.
I have that too, because I was the oldest kid in my house, but I'm
Right.
the middle child when it comes to my father's children. I have an older sister and a younger sister.
Oh, okay.
My older sister is 20 years older than me, and she came from a different mother. I love you, Aisha. I hope you're listening. And my younger sister, Joey, is 3 years younger than me, and we
Sure.
both have the same mother and father. But just like kind of just like taking in music from my father, who's a lot older than I feel like most people's fathers at my age. He's about to be 77 next week. So he was
Okay.
like he was
Hey,
already like
about
about
him.
I'll let him know
Uh,
you said that.
yeah.
So he was almost 50 when I was born. So like
Okay.
he was already like a grown ass man when I was born. So like
Yeah.
he kind of came up on like doo-wop and like all like the old school like Motown and R&B stuff. Like he lived through
Right.
all of that stuff. So like he would kind of put us on to that. And but like he's also somebody who's like really into like contemporary shit. So he was also so like at the time he was really into like Destiny's Child and like Brandy and Eric
Right.
Benet and all that stuff. So like it's kind of crazy how like voracious his appetite is. Like still he's just so hungry. He's like almost 80 years old and he's still looking for new shit. That's
Yeah.
incredible to me. And then like my mom would be somebody who was like she was into like a lot of like contemporary R&B and rap, but was also like more of the rock shit. She was big into like Aerosmith and like Sting and Lenny Kravitz and all that stuff. So like I kind of and like she was a big LL Cool J fan. Like she was the reason
Word.
she was the reason I first heard his album, the one that came out in the early 2000s, Headsprung, that everybody hates now for some reason. But like
That's crazy.
that was like my first exposure to LL Cool J, like hearing Headsprung and shit. So like
That's what my pops used to play. I Need Love all the time because that's what he was on.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just went back recently and ran through some LL Cool J stuff just because I was like interested in it and just like, damn, he really has something, man. Like people fuck with LL Cool J for a reason. Like
Nah,
it's
like,
he's
cause you got to think like in that era when he was first like coming through, like with Rick Rubin and all of them, it was nobody heard nothing to that point. Like, you know what I
right.
mean? It's kind of like it was very fresh and new. So like he was an innovator, if anything, you know.
Oh yeah, no, he was absolutely an innovator. And then like as I'm coming up, like I start, like I have this like huge, like I get into this like huge, I get big into snap music at some point. So like I'm big on like Lil Jon and like the Yin Yang Twins and like all that shit. And then I discover I was just talking to my friend yesterday about hearing the Rich Boy album for the first time. Like
Ah,
and just like how like throw some I don't want to say throw some D's changed my life, but like I remember the first time I heard throw some D's and was just like, oh, like I love this. Like, what is this? You know, like man, just this music shit is beautiful, man. And to just
it
have it
really
like
is.
branch off like in your own ways, like from that establishment to yeah, I don't know. I'm big on connecting generational threads like that. I think that shit is tough.
I just like how now people not trying to gatekeep. Like, why
Right.
would you gatekeep the platform if you wanted to grow? Because I thought that was the goal ultimately. You know,
Right. Yeah, nah, like
the whole songs, like, bro, why can't you tell me what the song is? Like literally, like, what's the point? Like,
yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, like, I get it to an extent when it comes to like sample snitching and stuff, but like, other than that, like, if we're not talking about that, like, why are you being so weird about the shit? Like, who cares? Like,
yeah,
put people on and shit. Damn. So for you, like, having this background with film and having this background with music, was there ever a period of time where like the two interconnected for you and you kind of noticed that they complement each other? Because like you were mentioning like the documentaries and stuff, but were there any other specific examples where like you kind of noticed that like music and movies kind of go together in that way?
yeah. Well, I mean, like, it was really like that my whole life. Like, when I went to school for a year, I was a filmmaker major. Like, I minored in music industry.
Mm,
Yeah, so it's like I was a digital filmmaker, and then it's like I've shot music videos for people, I've edited videos for people, then just helped like with creative direction in terms of treatments. Like for certain people, I still do that for certain rappers. So it's like I got it for the most part my whole life. Like my pops was the person who was always recording and like holding the camera. And like he was the one who had the camcorder. Like when camcorders first had came out, like he was documenting everything, which I'm grateful for now because it only passed on to me. So it's like his
right.
appreciation of this, the arts, was really just like instilled in me because what he likes, I'm gonna like too. Because like we got the same genetics. Like it's like it was bound to work. But I guess I found that correlation the most. I say when I was in probably like my junior year of high school, like I realized a lot of concepts and stuff that I wanted to do. I find similar artists who were signed doing the same things. And this is when I was like in high school. So it's kind of like, all right, I know I'm a part of like a great niche. Like the niche that I'm in, like there's a bunch of people doing things that I was trying to do when I was 14 now. So it's kind of like I
Right.
know like I kind of knew what like palette I wanted to like be on. It was just more so diversifying that palette, and I really got a better appreciation for film. And it just like while I love cinematography so much, just like how like the composition of shots in a frame, like I just love it. It's the same way how I want my artwork to look the same way it sounds. Like I want these colors to mesh with. That all comes from film. And it's just understanding why I love certain directors and love certain cinematographers, just why I love certain composers and certain producers. They all correlate, like they're all the same. Like you can't have a movie if it's not scored unless you got like a solid movie, you know?
Right.
So they move
Yeah.
like hand to hand.
Right. Yeah. Unless you have like a I was talking to the homie Brain Orchestra not too long ago, and he mentioned that he reminded me that No Country for Old Men doesn't have a score, which is kind of
Uh,
crazy to think about. But like it doesn't have it. But like most of the time, like there's gonna be a score to your movie, and like and you know like it's there to like enhance the mood, you know, like but also like not having a score can enhance the mood, and it just shows how like the absence of sound can really just change the way because like imagine watching a movie like I'm not sure if you've seen No Country for Old Men. You seen it?
yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it.
So like imagine that movie with a score. Imagine that movie with music behind it, and like the whole like the whole tone of the movie would completely change.
Yeah,
I
it's
think,
cool.
you know, like
It's good for sure. It plays a big part, bro. Like you hear
yeah.
certain vibrations, so you're going to move a certain way, or you're going to your senses. Like you're just like, oh, like damn. Like if you're playing some loud ass bells, okay, it's about to be something triumphant. Or if you're
Yeah.
playing strings, it's probably something sad or something like a moment of gathering again.
Right. And that's just like yeah, like it's just amazing how much music can it's just how it's amazing how like music or the lack of music can just change the way you look at something, especially something like a movie. Like that shit is crazy to me.
Yeah, bro. It's beautiful, bro. Like it's crazy. Like now you got people like Tyler scoring films. Like
Yeah.
it's that's beautiful. Like the fact that like just like the medium of rap, how it's got into this point where it's like, all right, you have to accept like we're all just many subgenres of different subgenres of different subgenres. Like we're all like of the same family. We just a relative. Like literally.
Right. And that's like a beautiful thing. Like we want this shit to grow. We want this shit to grow in ways like that and to just kind of give people the freedom to kind of be whatever they want, which is something that Tyler's all about. And I feel like that's something that you're all about. So
Yeah, I'm trying to, bro. Like going in that space, just like
yeah, man.
like we live in an era like mass production. So it's like, all right, while people are mass producing, we losing like a lot of the quality because we're gaining quantity, but quantity isn't the worst in some cases. Now it's like I have a bunch of artists I can confide in. Versus back then, you had to wait. Like you really had to wait to like that, like the label
Yeah.
prioritized this artist. Now it's like I got a whole plethora of artists I could like dive into.
Yeah, totally. And like and you're like for me personally, the first time I heard your shit was when I was sent dreadlocks back in 2020. And
Right.
that's when I was like, whoa, like who is this? Like, like
Right.
I gave it a listen and I was like, oh, this is gonna be somebody really dope. And so like obviously we like linked up and we tapped in at that point. But like your first project, at least the first one I was able to find was the Pimps and Oppressions EP from back in 2019. I don't know if that was your first one, but it was the first one I was able to find.
Yeah, this is fine for sure.
So
I
like,
was in Cali. Like I made that when I was staying in Cali.
oh word, okay. So like, so like, like obviously at that point you had decided you wanted to make music, and so like walk me through making Pimps and Oppression and what it kind of meant to you at the time and what it means to you now, kind of being about 3 years removed from it.
Right. So I guess like when I was making Pimps and Oppression, well, the reason I named it like Pimps and Oppression, I was gonna do like different volumes of it. Whereas like it was gonna be Pimps and Oppression as the first project, and then Oppression and Pimps as the second one, showing
Mm.
different perspectives. Like, all right, let's say you could take the pimp as society, and then society and its oppressed people. And the reason, like all of these things in society, I am society. So I guess I'll be the pimp of society. And I'm taking you through what I'm seeing. Like I'm walking in spaces. When I was in Cali, like the neighborhood, like this is the best example I could get. And they're like, this is what this project still like, what it means to me. And it just takes me back to that place. The area I was living in, mind you, I rode my bike around all the time because it's hills. Like I never had hills my whole life. So like I'm
Right.
gonna ride my bike in the hill, like around the hills in the area that I live in. I'm shooting a video for the promo for Pimps and Oppression. And then like of course some cops come, they talking to me and they're like, yeah, we're doing our routine like stop because there's been so many break-ins in this neighborhood, bro. Nobody was doing break-ins like where I was. Like, and it's
Right.
just kind of like regardless of where I am, if even if I am looked at as a high person in society or a frowned upon person in society, we're all oppressed. So it's kind of like that's what that project kind of was like. What the whole preface of the project was, and when I was making it, I found myself being in the like prettiest area and seeing the prettiest shit, but having severe writer's block and not like when I would get by the beat, I either wouldn't like the beat or the words just wouldn't resonate to the stuff I was putting on the beat, sonically. But even then, like I still like appreciate the project for what it is because I feel like it opened doors like for like a lot of people during that time, just having an introduction to me and then seeing like, okay, he's seriously making music for sure now. Like he's traveling with it, like he's doing shows in Cali, like he's doing certain things. But I wouldn't say I love that project the most, but it's like all my projects just kids. I guess that was just a kid I didn't understand how to raise, but I was still trying to raise him. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's basically what that project was for me. But I still love that concept, like just like having like just I don't know, like to that time period, that's how I felt. Like that's how I felt in society. So I was like, that's what I made and what I wanted to push into the universe, into society.
Facts, and like, like as like one of your early joints, like that's you kind of, like feeling your way around, like putting a concept like that together and like, and just like putting it into the world through music. So it's all just a part of the learning process on top of that. you
Right.
know,
It's always lessons, bro. Like it's still like
always.
I still love like 526 is on there.
Yeah.
Then the intro is a duet with me and my sister, my middle sister. So I was like, I still love it. It's just like it's one of them times I was watching Drink Champs and Ghostface was saying how he hates his first album because
Yeah.
his homie literally got locked up for 20 years and he still had to make an album. I feel him. Like it was just like I'm in an area that it like it looks beautiful, but it's like the most fuck shit is going on at home. So it's kind of like I
Mhm.
can't escape just because I've physically escaped home. It's still a lot of shit going on at home, and it's like I can't even like it was just a lot going on, like, and I couldn't really navigate my ways through it. And normally, how I navigate in my form of therapy is making music. And at the time, what I was making, I didn't like, and I didn't feel like it was a reflection of how better I got to that point, But I mean,
Right.
it's still a lesson. It's like you're never gonna have a perfect song, and once you realize imperfection is beauty, you could really shine. And it's like at that point, I didn't understand that concept. I was just trying to force myself to create, and you can't force that. Like you just can't force music. Now it's like if I'm not fucking with it, I just I just do something else. I take a walk. Like I do something
Yeah.
else. So talk to somebody I ain't talked to in a minute. Those make the best songs. Or those make the best moments. Like you know what I mean?
For real. I'm the same way, like you really can't force that shit. Like you can leave something at 4 o'clock and then come back 6 hours later after doing some other shit, and you just get that zeal, and it just like hits, and you're just back in it. Like
Shit completely different.
I totally feel you. And like that alone, like that particular, like just trying to make it in general is already going to be tough, like without a fucking pandemic fucking destroying everything around us and just like making travel
On
and
top of
things
that,
like as
yeah.
hard as it is. But like you really started to gain steam as the pandemic started to gain steam, and just like and just like being a relatively new artist who has to deal with something like that, like that's like there aren't going to be very many time periods in history where that's like there isn't an analog to an artist who's coming up during COVID,
Right.
like that's kind of unprecedented in a lot of ways. So just because I'm curious for you, like what was, or I guess is right now the most challenging aspect of trying to like really push this music shit like while there's a fucking pandemic happening and just like throwing everything out of whack and shit.
Right. I guess. I mean, I feel like very recently, show wise, a lot of things have opened up, being a blessing, I guess you could say. Because like I mean, I just did the show in New York, which I
Uh-huh.
like. That was the first time I performed in New York, but a year ago that wouldn't have happened, or even 2 years ago that wouldn't have happened due to like what's been going on with COVID. But COVID kind of like for me, it was a blessing in disguise. Like COVID saved me from myself. Like literally, I had to sit down and reflect on what I wanted to do in my life and how I could find people around me who were conducive to myself growth and what I felt like served me, like I served my purpose or my greater purpose to getting to my highest self. I didn't understand that concept completely when I was in California. I was more so fighting the war with myself and lashing that out to all the people who I fucked with. So I was like going to Cali, I was separated from people who I was getting into. I was separated from myself really because the person who I knew was in Louisiana. And I was trying to rediscover myself and figure out who I was when I was in Cali.
Mm.
So when COVID happened, I ended up leaving Cali and going with my parents in Texas. And it just being with them, kind of like, I don't know, like it just it reshift like a layer of peace and like just a layer of like who I was, or like what I was like, you cause I like the world's on pause, but mind you, like I just dropped out of school. I just left Cali. So it's like, all right, I know what I want to do, but what am I doing? You know what I mean? It was one of those things where it's like everything is paused. And kind of when I put out dreadlocks, it's like I was getting into a space where it's like certain curators or certain writers were seeing me for the first time. And it's kind of like, all right, I'm going to give y'all this introduction, then I'm going to give y'all a project. But in the midst of me being ready to give out a project, COVID happens. So now it's like, all
Right.
right, I can't give y'all a project because it's like I feel like I shine the most when I perform. I feel like my live performances are always gonna. I'm not gonna manifest it, but my live performances hit harder than my actual songs. I feel like that's when you really see me like in the greatest light, or how I really feel like this is my expression of like to music, and this is what this is how I contribute to music. This is why I feel like I'm pushing the culture forward or pushing music forward. That comes from when I'm with my band, when I'm like performing live. But it's like I can't do live shows to a project. I can't even put out a project. That's how I felt. So it's like I was with my parents trying to figure this out, and then in the midst of frustration with in the world, just being oblivious to relationships with certain producers and certain people while I was just changing my whole mindset or like how I process things in my brain. And that just kind of dictated me being like, all right, the energy I put on this project isn't the energy I'm ready to put out into the universe. I feel like I can be better than this. Not to say the music wasn't good, but just who I was as a person. Like I wasn't, at that moment, I realized I just wasn't ready. And when you're not ready, the universe is gonna show you that. And it presented it ironically, like even before COVID, certain things happened that literally set me down and humbled me and got my character better. Now that I've developed my character, everything's going the way it is now. And this is years later, you know? But to put
Yeah.
in perspective, I've been working on it since then, you know?
Right. And that's like a lifelong process, but to just kind of like come into that, like to kind of come into that in like your early 20s is a really, I mean, like your early 20s are kind of like a crazy period for growth as it is.
Right.
But like that in particular is just like, to have it kind of get boosted by a thing like COVID is just wild. And then, of course, over the course of the next however long up until right now is when you work on and release To a Dark Boy, which is out now and is, once again, like I said, super fucking crazy. So like, nah, of course. So like while you're kind of going through this moment and like asking yourself what you want of you, like where did the initial idea to kind of put together To a Dark Boy come from?
I guess how I treat every project, I want it to be quality wise, as if a random person will buy your vinyl, not buy your CD, not buy your project on iTunes, physically buy your vinyl because it's just a
Yeah.
great record. I feel like vinyls are records that you purchase, and I feel like I want to make every time I put out a project, I want it to hit like a record, like a crazy record, like well thought out. The colors are coordinating with everything. The way it's sequenced is coordinating with everything, and it's just like the all around story. Like I want it to make sense, and it doesn't have to necessarily be the most conceptual piece, but this is my film, you know, like I'm showing you my film and presenting it in the best packaging I possibly can, and then letting
Right.
you take it how you want to take it. Because like once I put it out, now you discuss it, you get impacted how you get impacted with it, you know. But really, like the whole process of that, I put out Away Game with Wave World. He's from Baton Rouge too. He's another producer.
Yeah. Shout out to Wave World for sure.
Yeah, Wave's crazy. That's my brother. Like I put it out with him, and then through that, I got an email from a dude named Curdy. He's from Virginia, and Curdy was like, he's a crazy ass guitarist, right? He was on tour. I can't remember what the name of the band was, but he was on tour, and basically like his contract was like it wasn't a good contract or whatever, so he ended up leaving the tour. And mind you, this is like COVID. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna learn how to make beats. So in the process of him learning how to make beats, he finds Away Game. He emails me with a like a heartfelt like email. Like I've never gotten an email the way he emailed me with a pack. He was like, I spent my time learning how to make beats. Like I spent my time perfecting this, and it's like Away Game has really changed like my perception of just production and like the way I want to take it, like sonically. And I feel like I could help you along that process. And even if you don't like any of these beats, I'm still a fan at the end of the day. That's how you like summarize like the email. And I was like, shit, like you didn't buttered me up now. Like
Right.
I
Like, how do you
listened
say
to it.
no to
And,
that?
yeah,
Like,
how can you like? I listened to the pack and I loved like every beat. Like, I literally loved like every beat of it. Then we didn't end up using any of those like introduction. Like that's when we were just getting our chemistry together. But through that, I was just talking to him like every day, and it ended up him dictating like the sound of the project. Like specifically when we started getting like closer, me and him went back and we was bumping a lot of Super Duper Fly, Missy's first album. And it's kind of like the chemistry Missy had with Timbo was kind of like how I felt with him. Like it was like I'm hearing like I don't know, like sonically you giving me everything that I want because you understanding like the textures that I want and the textures I feel like I was lacking when it came to merging a certain, I want to say like electronic alternative type texture sound with jazz on top of like neo soul. Like I wanted to merge all of those together and still be like, true to me, like just like discovering how that sound would be. But the fact that he's just like an exceptional guitarist, he understand what kind of vein I wanted to be just because he knows guitar first, So like just having his perspective and his ear, I was like, yeah, bro, you gotta run the exec on this. Like, bro, like you be the one of my two, be the point guard, I'll be the shooting guard. Like I'll take the shots. Like literally, like it's the same way when I'm with Wave. Like I let Wave like execute his vision. I just add and contribute to the world. Like literally, like if he picks the building, I'm helping him with interior design. I'm like, oh,
Right.
this couch will look real fire with this rug, bro. Just like this would be like crazy, like with certain things, even like for example, like with Proud Family on away game, I made the loop, then I sent it to Redville. He was fucking with the loop, so I sent it to Wave World. Then we made that, and that's how and that was just from watching fucking what show was that? The Parkers. Like that was just some transition music. Literally from
Right.
Benji. Literally from Benji. And I was like, bro, I need new sounds. And it was like, I don't know, like certain stuff like that. But basically, to get back on like to the dark shit. But mind you, like I'm cool with mad producers, bro. Like I'm very grateful. Like I'm very grateful. Like a lot of great producers, like even industry producers, I have like cool relationships with. But I knew for this project specifically, he understood where I was trying to take it and what my mind frame was with everything that went down. Like leaving California, going to Texas, coming back to BR. Like just that whole process. He understood where I was coming from, and me and him was just talking every day, and we just formed like becoming like best friends, and like through that we just knew what we wanted to do because being best friends, we show each other what we listening to. So I was telling him certain projects I was listening to and like how certain albums ran. And it's like he understood it. So it's like he helped me like get everything together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nah, that producer rapper relationship is so much more sacred than I think people really want to give it credit for. Cause like it's like the best rapper producer relationships are always like super collaborative and intimate in that way. It's all it like not that it should always be more than just like, hey, here's some beats. Cause like sometimes, hey, here's some beats is cool, but like
Right.
that's not what makes something like but like that's what makes something like To a Dark Boy so special. And like obviously like like the beats are incredible once again, like they're so good,
Bro, appreciate that.
like Silhouette's the one I've been stuck on forever. Like that's like my favorite song on here that I can't stop playing. And
Love.
nah, of course. And like like what you bring to the table is like your imagery is so vivid, and your metaphors and punchlines are always just like so creative and just like so like you're a
Appreciate
real
it.
good storyteller, and you're just like you just have fun with the shit. Like the one thing that comes to mind at the end of Silhouette is when you tell somebody you think you Kanye, you bound to a bad contract, you just a new slave. And like the first thing that might come to mind for somebody
Mhm.
is like, it's like a new slave. It's a new slave metaphor. But then like it took me a couple seconds to realize like, oh, you put bound to at the beginning of that too. So it's just like the layers there and just like
Oh,
stuff to kind of
shout out
see as
Marco,
you.
bro.
Yeah,
Marco
man.
crazy.
Yeah, he went
But
wild for
bro,
real.
like what's wild is, bro, like I did you remember Hurricane Ida? I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if you're
do.
familiar with that hurricane. All right, so when that hurricane happened, I didn't have power for 2 weeks. So I left. I left BR and went to Texas. But it was on some like speed of the moment, or like the hurricane about to come and you gotta dip right now. You gotta dip right now. So it's like I ended up leaving and I didn't bring my equipment. Normally I just bring like literally, I bring this with me everywhere I go, bro. I
We got the
literally like
same mic. That's crazy. Wow.
I take it out the stand, like not even. I just got like it's probably different. I got this shield. I went what mic you working with?
I'm working with a toner. No. We
I'm
got
not
different mics.
we different mics, but similar build, probably similar hardware or whatever. But basically I
Right,
bring it
right.
with me, bro. When I made Lively, I sat on the couch and literally like sang like that, literally. But I didn't have time to bring none of my stuff. Like I literally just packed a quick like duffel bag and left and took a car ride with one of my cousins to Houston. And I literally recorded Silhouette with some headphones, and then I sent it. I sent it to one of my managers, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we need Marco on this. We got to get Marco on this. We got to get Marco on this." And I'm like, "All right, bro, can I go back to BR and then like record it for real?" And then I was like, oh, bro, we already sinning. And I'm like, y'all niggas tripping. But then like it became a blessing. Like it became a blessing in disguise, you know?
Yeah, nah, blessings in disguise seem like they're like a running theme with you, like you just kind of like take it as it comes and just roll with the punches type shit. And
All
like
you can
that's
do,
how,
bro.
yeah, exactly. And that's how a song like Silhouette happens, you know? And that's just another one of those things that makes that song that much more incredible. Like on top of the fact that you're just rapping your fucking ass off and just like y'all really put your ankle in that whole song. Like I swear.
Nah. I'll put my foot in. For real, for real. That's what you call some gumbo. That's some gumbo.
Yeah.
Hey, for real, for real. Like that's some gumbo for sure, for sure. But it's like
Oh,
I'm just very appreciative, like that he hopped on that song, and then like the fact that he got inspired from that. You know what I mean?
right.
Because you could tell, like on that song, he wanted to really spit, like he really wanted to spit, like, and I love, like, I feel like for the most part in these new spaces where I'll come and do features with certain people, they want to put forth their best effort. I feel like that's the greatest compliment I could ever get, the fact that people are getting recharged when I send them opens, even though like when I made that song, I wasn't on some I'm trying to make the hardest bars or the hardest like things, like I was literally just speaking from experience,
Yeah.
how I felt, like literally to how I felt.
Right. And that's one of the things that's so special about To a Dark Boy as a whole. It just kind of feels like you speaking on your experiences and just kind of like laying this out for other people to kind of take from it what they will. And like once again, like we were talking about roadmaps before, like that particular roadmap is just like a really important one to just kind of pass down to people regardless of age or whatever. And like I like I'd ask what you want people to take away from To a Dark Boy, but it's pretty obvious because you say it right at the end, on the very last song. We say to a dark boy caged in his own mind. I say be free, be true, be brave, and most importantly, be yourself, not who they say you are.
Yeah,
And
hey,
like that like obviously this is an album kind of centered in blackness in a way that I feel like a lot of work is like explicitly or not explicitly. And like blackness is obviously not a new concept in music or in rap, but like considering how you put this album together and what you wanted it to say, like how do you feel To a Dark Boy approaches this topic in a way? What do you feel is the most unique way that you approach that topic on this album, and how do you feel it gets there in a way that we may not have seen before? That was kind of, I asked that in a naughty and strange way, and I'm sorry about that,
no,
but
no, 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 I get you. Basically, like, all right, the best way I could put it, the song, like the project itself, starts with the song "Survivor's Guilt." I feel like a lot of Black people specifically have went through so much traumatic shit to where they're in situations where they feel like they could have saved someone, or they could have done something, or could have said something, or could have not existed at all, or been at the right place at the wrong time. And I feel like through that, being in certain situations, even now, like I have the luxury of traveling the country while some of my friends can't. So it's kind of like I feel
yeah,
guilt to a certain extent that I was born with the parents that I was born with, and they allowed me to express myself in certain mediums and truly accept it. I know homies who had parents who didn't, or had a mother who didn't, or had a father who didn't. So it's kind of like everything that we're going through the infrastructure of being Black, it's a lot of trauma that we don't touch and that we don't talk and that we don't seek like therapy for, or like seek, like, I don't know, like a conversation or starting a conversation. So it's kind of like I feel like my introduction to y'all through this project of how I feel is like I survived a lot of shit, and now this is me telling you in the story. And basically, like, them Black films where it's like, and this is like it takes you at the end of the film in the beginning. That's how this project is. This is
yeah,
my, and this is where it all fucked up. And then it loops you in. Then it loops you in to testify. Where I bring you back to the intro or like the ending of the movie. I bring you back to that scene. And then I explain and I elaborate it more.
right, yeah. And like, and like it's a whole journey, like
Yeah.
I've been it's just a whole journey, and I've been really fascinated over the course of the last, like, I want to say like this entire year so far, these last 4 months, but I've just been caught up on the idea of just like sequencing and like how an album moves from front to back, and like To a Dark Boy really moves like that to me. And it's just really important that people still care about a project that kind of moves front to back and isn't just a collection of songs. And a collection of songs is always cool
Right.
to me. Like if they're
Yeah.
good, it's all good. But like I just it's just always special when somebody really puts that like extra effort into it to make it kind of flow front to back in a certain way, you know?
Yeah, like I really like I put a lot of time into it, bro. And even just like if you listening you don't have to understand theory, but like certain songs, I make sure the last like bar loops into the next bar, but it resolves in a certain way. So sonically it makes sense. So it's kind of like I think like the way Silhouette goes into the next song, or like really my favorite like part of the album is when it's like Eleanor's interlude goes into the mix song that goes into Testify. The way it
Mm,
just runs, like the way it just runs, it's like it's almost like seamless, which I love like the most part. But really, like even to like the certain like type like the songs, bro, like just like how the second song is called like Close Shadows, or like how it's like Silhouette, just like embodying blackness, or like even being literally black. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
certain things, and then like the melanated people who like rejoice in the evening sun, like literally like just certain things. Like I don't know, like I really went full in like with it, you know, and then like even just like to darkness of like when you go outside at 11:02, it's pitch black. Like certain things, you know. Like I made sure like I was detailed. I made sure like I really like for the longest I've done my homework with just music. So now it's like, all right, this is just my notebook while I was taking notes, and I'm just showing it to you. Like this is just like this is my version of how I think it sounds nice. Like I feel like this is a nice album. Like this is a nice album that I copy. Like if I was going back to the store back in the day, like this would be an album I'd pick out. Like if it was just getting vinyl, because like even the cover, bro, like
Right.
it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like certain things, like it just has that feeling that a classic like thing or a classic entity would have, you know?
Yeah, that fisheye lens shit. I love the little fisheye lens effect you put on there. Gave me old like Busta Rhymes vibes and shit.
Right. Literally.
Like, yeah, I love it.
Bro, what's crazy? Like fucking on me and Wave, we finishing our like the third project. Like it's the follow up to Away Game, right?
Yeah.
In the first single, like I shot a video on Super 8. Ironically, like Busta Rhymes' daughter is like the main character, and that's just crazy to me. Like it's crazy how things like it's crazy how things come back around, bro. Because it's like I got likes because of Busta, no cap. Like just my
Man,
appreciation for Busta, bro. Like
I feel you. Like he had like his look crazy and like his just like the way he rapped and like the visual style that he always went for in all his videos with like the Hype Williams stuff. Like he was
facts.
like at that time, like even up until like the Big Bang when everybody started to hate him low key, like he just had style. Like he always had style, and he was like that was one of the reasons why he was so important to me. Like forget his skill, he just had style.
Facts.
Like
One of the best rap performers I've ever seen in my life, for sure. And I'm seeing
yeah,
him after his quote unquote peak. So I can only
right,
imagine when he was my age.
man,
Even,
yeah.
even back to Leaders of New School and shit, he probably was crazy back then. Like
He was even crazier from what I heard. Like, like yeah, like his, like just like off his verse on the Tribe album, like just like
right.
off his verse on Scenario, like he's one of the wildest performers ever.
Facts. We go to
Like,
that, bro.
yeah. And what so to wrap this all up and to kind of bring the idea of the To a Dark Boy thing home, like or yeah, like so like the album's out. People have had time to digest it for a few months. You had time to digest it for a few months. Like now that you've kind of like now that you're kind of like on the scene in a way that you weren't necessarily like a year ago or like 2 years ago, like what do you hope people take away from Wakai? Like now that you're here and you're like, hey, this is my statement. This is what I'm about. Like if somebody were to ask you, like, yo, like, what are you all about? What would you tell them?
I tell him I figured out how to move with love for what I was appreciative of when it came to music. I understand that I love music, so now I treat music with love. And also, mainly through this project, you're watching a 21-year-old black man understand how to love himself. And once you take those two things and put them together, that's the most powerful like chain reaction you can have. So now it's kind of like, all right, y'all. I fucked around and figured out what the chemicals were. Y'all didn't have to tell me. I found out for myself. So now it's
Right.
like, I just gave you a sample. Like I really just gave you like a sample size of it, just to be like, hey, it kind of tastes good. So hey, let me make you a plate. But I got a whole pot. Like so, it's literally like this is just really the introduction. And I was telling my managers, like when we meet with people or like have certain meetings, I'm just telling people like the same feeling I got when I first seen the Acid Rap cover or when I first seen the Waters cover. That's what
Yeah.
this shit is. This literally like I feel like in timing wise, obviously I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it as far as I can possibly take it within the means of me being myself and like like if I continue to put in as much work that I do, like go to the studio first when the sun rising up and then leaving after everybody else when the sun rises up again. That's how I'm going to continue to be. If I can keep doing that, it's gonna be the same way. Like the same way when you first seen Chance, the same way you first seen Mick. This is just the first time you seeing me. Like it's gonna be the same thing.
Right. And you got Mick on the album, which like
Yeah,
once again, like I remember when you sent me the song and you were just like gassed off the fact that you got Mick on, and just like that was, yo, bro, like yeah, like I don't have any more questions, but like just in general, like congratulations on getting Mick on here, congratulations on To a Dark Boy, congratulations on making it to New York and doing your first show. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I wanted to be there, but I had other shit going on. And
nah, you gonna catch one, bro. You gonna catch one, bro. You gonna catch
no,
one.
I will. No, I will. But like, just like thank you, because like this was fun. This is enlightening. Just like hearing you put ideas together like this last like hour and a half has been fucking nuts. Like I just love the way your brain works. And I'm just like,
appreciate it, bro.
Nah, man, thank you. Like, just thank you for taking the time. Cause yeah,
thank you for having me, bro. And like to add on to what you're saying, bro, I fuck with you mutually the same amount, bro. Like I love how you just yourself. Like you do what you like, and I'm the same way. Like if I don't necessarily like it and my heart ain't in it, and I don't have good intent with it, I don't fuck with it. So that's why I was like, I feel like it's just a mutual respect for you. Like especially like in your position in the field that you in. It's hard to really stand on your 10 toes. And the fact that you do, I can respect that because I'm the same way. Literally.
I appreciate you, bro. It's just like we gotta be ourselves, and I'm happy to kind of have the freedom to do that, because not everybody has the freedom to do that. But like the fact that we do it, and like I see that in you, and just like I can't wait to see where you go from here, man. Like it's just like like your road is long. Like I just can't wait to see where it goes from here, for real. Like
hey, I'm coming. That's all I'm gonna say. I put this on Twitter, bro. That's gonna be my DMX year for sure.
Let's go.
For sure.
Talk to these niggas.
That's why I dropped it on the third month of the year. Like it's only April. Like it's literally only April. Like
thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.